What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down at Audi Greenville and behind me we're going to take a look at the 2019 Audi Q3. Huge shout out to them for providing this SUV for me today. I'll have a link to their website down in the description below. They have a ton of Audis out on the lot, so definitely check them out. But the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Mythos Black Metallic and has an MSRP just over $41,000. Under the hood, this has a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and this is only paired to the 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. This engine produces 228 horsepower at 5,100 RPM and 258 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,700 RPM. It does have the Quattro all-wheel drive system, weighs around 3,900 pounds. 0 to 60 can happen in 7 seconds, and it has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 15.9 gallons, you can expect to see 19 miles per gallon in the city and 27 on the highway. The wheelbase measures 105.5 inches. It has an overall length of 176.5. The width is 73.1. It has a height of 63.6 inches and ground clearance is at 6.7 inches. Starting up front, this comes with LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. The traditional hexagonal style grille has a brushed aluminum surround to it, along with nice trim pieces running down the vertical slots. This has 4 forward-facing parking sensors. There's large air inlets both in the grille and the lower section of the bumper to help provide with better cooling. And as we make our way up, it features very clean lines running throughout. Moving to the side, this features a set of 19-inch 5 double-spoked alloy wheels. 4-wheel disc brakes are in all 4 corners. The front rotors measure 13.4 inches and 12.2 inches in the rear. The body-colored side mirrors are power folding. They're heated and feature the integrated turn signal. There's more brushed aluminum trim pieces surrounding the entire windows, along with up on the roof rails. This does feature a full panoramic sunroof. Coming back down to the side of the vehicle, you can see the S-Line badge, and it also features nice contours down in the lower side skirt, and there's a nice line running throughout the doors, just above the door handles. And finishing up in the rear with the integrated spoiler, which is body colored and has the third brake light just underneath that. The wiper blade is in the lower section of the glass to help improve with visibility. This has LED taillights with dynamic turn signals, a power liftgate, there's a backup camera with 4 parking sensors, there's also rear-facing fog lights, and a nice black trim piece in the lower section of the bumper. So that is going to finish up with the exterior walk-around on the 2019 Audi Q3. Basically for 2019, they redesigned the exterior, making it a little bit more aggressive. So in a sense, this is like a mini Q5, Q8 with the new grille that it has. You can see it's much larger than the previous generation. And they've also updated some interior options as well, which we'll get to here soon. But I really like the overall styling to it. There is a Q5 off into the distance there, so if you can see, they are virtually identical. Obviously the Q3 being much smaller, but now we can go ahead and check out the interior. I can just walk up to the vehicle, place my hand on the door handle, you will hear it automatically unlock. Starting with the door panel, you'll see the nice two-tone design that it has. On the top section, there's a brushed aluminum trim piece going into the release handle, which you can see has a nice ergonomical design to it. You have your lock and unlock in front of that. Coming back to the armrest now, you have some nice leather and stitching. All of the windows are automatic up and down. You have your child locks in the back. Along with the side mirror adjustments, they are heated and power folding. You have the power tailgate release. This has a 10-speaker audio sound system with 180 watts. You have a little bit of storage space in the back side of the door there. Down below you can see S for the S-Line, which this vehicle has. And then moving inside to the leather seats. They have stitching running down the side of them, a nice design on the backrest and on the bottom. They have an 8-way power adjustability with 4-way power lumbar support. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel. You can see the black stitching running along the inside. It also features more of the aluminum on the lower section. On the right side, we have all of the Bluetooth controls, along with the volume and tuning for the radio, along with a customizable button. And then on the left side, all of these buttons here will control the 10.2-inch screen. With all of the electronics on now, we'll go ahead and take a look at this screen. On the left side, you see the engine temperature. To the right side is the fuel gauge. And then right in the middle, you can see the tach on one side, your speedometer on the other. And right in the middle is what we use those buttons on the steering wheel to control. So right now you can see the date and time. If we scroll down, you can see your fuel consumption along with your short and long-term memory. You can also look at your energy consumption along with the driving assistance. We can scroll over to the radio and adjust everything there, and then you have some notes along with your Bluetooth. On the bottom, you can see the clock, outside temperature, along with your odometer. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have a little cubby storage spot for anything that can fit down there. You have more of the brushed aluminum surrounding some piano black with both of your headlight controls. There's one air vent. And then as we make our way to the center, you'll find 2 air vents and the second LCD screen. This one is 8.8 inches. On the left side of the screen, you can see all of your presets. These are fixed, so they won't change. I have clicked on the top one, which you can see is the home button. You can see your radio, media, your phone. You can go into vehicle. We can swipe over and you can see settings and messages and things like that. We can go into the Audi Drive Select, which basically changes all of the different driving modes. As you can see, this has an off-road setting. There's comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. You can go into the parking aid and control how much you'd like that to help you. This also has the driver assistance, so again, you can configure everything in that setting. You have the lighting and visibility that you can change. The next button on the presets is basically what I was already in, just another shortcut. And then the last 3 buttons, you have your music, the phone, and Audi smartphone, which will incorporate your CarPlay and Android Auto. We can also scroll from the top, and you can see you can shut this screen completely off. Just tap anywhere to turn it back on. You have a programmable garage door button and a few other settings on the top right. Down below that, we have all of the AC controls. This does have a dual zone climate system, so you can control the driver and passenger side individually. This also has heated seats, so you have 3 different controls for driver and passenger. The fan speed is right in the center, and then just pushing on that will shut everything completely off. You have some more recirc buttons in the center, along with where you'd like the air to go. And then just underneath that, we have the engine start stop button, along with a physical button for the volume and power for the radio. It's very nice to see that. You don't have to go into the infotainment system in order to adjust that. You have your drive select. So that will bring up the driving modes that I just went over, and you'll also see the graphic change as you go between them. You have your traction control, your engine start stop feature, along with the hazards, a parking assist button, along with a downhill assist control. Just in front of the shifter is a nice storage cubby along with a wireless charging port. You also have a USB and a USB-C to the right of that. Looking at the shifter now, if I just pull the trigger on the front, we can go back into reverse. You'll see the backup camera light up in the center screen here, along with the parking sensors for the front and the rear. There's a few different settings on the lower right. You can turn on and off the parking sensor beep if you'd like to. You can click on the camera button here, and it replaces the camera with all of the different settings on the home screen as you saw. Just click on that and it will bring it back up. And then clicking on these 3 buttons here, you can adjust the volume of the beep that you will hear for the parking sensors when you're getting close to something. You can also shift using the shifter itself, just putting it over into manual mode, and use this to go through the gears. Right in the center, you have the electronic parking brake along with a 12 volt. There are 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage space off to the side. Looking at the center armrest, you can adjust it forwards or backwards, and then just go ahead and open it up. You have a good amount of storage space in there, and I also like the fact that the armrest will hold in any position that you put it in, so it'll lock into place, and then once you completely open it, you can bring it all the way back down. Moving over to the glove box now, you have a ton of room, along with an SD slot up in the top section there. You also have a nice wood inlay running above that with the Quattro logo. We'll go ahead and take a look at the seats again. And then up top, this does feature a full panoramic sunroof. You have all those controls up top again for the sunshade and the glass, along with touch-sensitive dome lights. You can lock and unlock the car from the back seats, which is really nice to see. Door panels finish off just like up front with more of the brushed aluminum. You have a little bit of storage space to both sides of the back seats, and this is a 5-seater SUV, so let's go ahead and hop in. Behind both front seats, you have some netting for extra storage space. There's 2 air vents in the center, along with a 12 volt. You get 2 USBs to the side of that. And then talking about the overall legroom, I have the front seat set at my height, 5'10". You can see that my feet are easily able to go underneath the seat, and I have about 1 inch or 2 in front of my knees, and then 3 or 4 inches above my head. So for the smaller SUV from Audi, there's actually plenty of room in the back. I could easily have 2 more people next to me here, and it's very open at the same time, especially having the sunshade open, and you have this extra glass here. Just brings in a lot of light, so it doesn't feel like you're too confined or anything. These seats also recline as well, so you have a little bit of versatility in being able to do that. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the middle portion of the seat here, you have 2 cup holders, so that easily pops open. We'll go ahead and take a look at the visibility out of the rear glass. You definitely have a lot of it, being that that glass is very wide. The back seats also have a 40-20-40 split to them. As you can see, I have the passenger one down already. If you just push on a button to the right side of this headrest, we can fold the middle seat down. And then obviously you can fold down the driver's side seat, and it is attached to the middle seat. So technically you have a 60-40 split at the same time, but we can go ahead and pull on this strap. It will lock into that other seat, and you can see you can fold all of these completely flat or have them in the 60/40 configuration as well. You definitely have plenty of room into the back area there. And last up, it's time to take a look at the rear trunk storage space. There's actually 4 different ways you can do this. We can hold the button on the key fob, you can push the button up underneath the Audi logo, you have the one on the driver door, or you can use the kick motion options. So if you have a ton of items in your hands, you can just walk up to the back of the vehicle, kick your foot up underneath the back bumper, and it will automatically open up for you. So that is a very helpful feature to see. As we make our way to the inside, you have about 23 cubic feet of storage space with the back seats up, and it goes to about 48 cubic feet of storage space with them folded down. So you have plenty of storage space in the back. You have a little bit of a cutout on the right side and a larger one on the left side. So you have a little bit storage to each side. And this is the power lift gate. So up top, we can either close the tailgate or close and lock it at the same time. All right, so getting behind the wheel of the 2019 Q3. This is actually one of the few Audis that I have not driven yet. I've been in the Q5, the Q7, the Q8, even the e-tron, but I have yet to drive the smaller version, the Q3. So it's virtually identical to the models that I just went over, but for 2019, what I've seen so far is that they added this gauge cluster, the digital gauge cluster that they've put in most of their other vehicles, which I think is a really nice touch. I like how you can scroll through everything and have most of what you need right in the middle there. And then they do have or provide a 8.8 inch center screen. So it's really nice that you have that layout. It's kind of like the Q8, although the Q8 has a third screen down below for all the AC and everything like that, but a much different platform than this vehicle. And one thing that I wanted to point out now with the driver assistance, it's actually telling me where the center of the lane is. So right now I see 3 different sections of green on each side. So if I get closer to the yellow line, that one will turn red and it's still green on the passenger side. Of course, if I go over that way, it will turn red. Coming to a hard right turn. For an SUV, I mean, you're gonna expect body roll. It's not a sports car by any means, but that took that turn well, just at going at a normal speed there. We'll go ahead and give it a little bit of power here. Nothing crazy, but for the Q3, definitely gets up and moves. It's not crazy quick, but I'm up to the speed limit just like that. So something you would expect for an SUV of this size. Moving on to the visibility now. What is it like driving the Q3? Well, forward-facing visibility is really good. I like how you can see between the side mirrors and the A-pillar. They are very, very minimal, so that gives you a little bit more versatility, or visibility, I should say. And then a glance over your left and right shoulder, really easy to see in both directions. There's not too much of a pillar over your right side, and I like the fact that you can see out of that backside glass, along with the back glass, of course. Talking about the comfort now, I've put a couple miles on it so far. The seat is in a good position. I like the little notches on the steering wheel. Makes it very comfortable to drive this. It will be a daily driving vehicle, so I have no complaints with that. We can also change the suspension by going through the drive select. I've been in dynamic for this test drive, so let's go ahead and put it over into comfort. And you can feel it kind of lighten up a little bit. Let's check to see if there's anything in the steering wheel. It feels kind of light right now. Let's put it into dynamic, and it tightens up just a little bit. As far as all the interior materials go for the Q3, being at the lower price point, it still doesn't change the fact that it has a really nice premium feeling interior. You have some leather on the door, nice piano black and wood trim pieces on the dash. There's brushed aluminum everywhere. It's around the center screen and down around the shifter too. Of course, leather on the seats and the steering wheel. So for the Q3, I think it has a really nice interior. It's not like they kind of skimped out on anything. To me, it just feels like a normal Audi. And that's kind of what I like about Audis. They all seem to have the same interior quality, even though they offer different options. So while this doesn't have carbon fiber or any of those options that you would see on some of the R-Line models, like the RS5, the RS7, it still has a premium look to it with different materials. So I like how they've done that. And along with the interior materials is how everything is laid out. There's really not a whole lot of buttons, which I like to see in vehicles nowadays. You have the few on the steering wheel, which are very easy to go through. Most of your controls, however, are on the center screen. You have all the ACs below that and a couple toggle switches underneath that, but the majority of what you're going to be using is in the center screen, which is nice to see. Doesn't feel cluttered or anything like that. I think they did a really good job at providing the maximum interior storage for a small configuration. So you can easily fit 4 other people in here, and there's a lot of storage space behind the seats, even with them folded up. And then obviously, again, with them folded down, you have plenty of room. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up my walk around review and test drive in the 2019 Audi Q3. Once again, huge shout out to Audi Greenville for providing this vehicle for me today. I'll have a link to their website down in the description below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.